Okay, I'm getting away really late here in St. George. Pretty much spent all morning wrestling with the computer just so I could process those big credit card sales so I'll have something in the account. It is 20 past 12 and I'm just getting underway. Okay, here we go into Arizona.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, Mark, this is as close as I'm going to get to you.
I should tell you that.
That's War and Peace going in the background. I think I've lost the thread of the story, but it's still interesting listening to the set pieces. So, anyway, still have like a billion hours of driving left today. Okay, here we are going into Virgin Canyon from the other direction. Never been this direction before. Sorry, Virgin River Canyon. This is like mega cool.
A great many things are found within the look and wrong place. And two rooms that kept me.
This looks better in movies than pictures, except the resolution's lower.
Carriage steps, while maids were flying with pillows and bags from the house to the carriages, coach, another gig, back. Natasha had rarely felt such a joyful sensation as she experienced at that moment, sitting in the carriage like a countess, watching as they slowly moved by her, the walls of forsaken, agitated Moscow. Now and then she put her head out of the carriage window.
Maybe I'll do a little bit later when it gets a little steeper.
So as neither to perish or to put an end to the misery of all Europe, which was in the ears of him entirely. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The French had already entered Moscow. Pierre knew this, but instead of acting, he only brooded over his enterprise, going over all the minutest details. Suddenly a sound, a shrill feminine shriek was heard from the porch, and the cook ran into the vestibule. Merciful heavens, my goodness, here they are, 4 of the horsemen, she screamed. In the hush that followed, Pierre distinctly heard several hands knocking on the door. There were 2 of them. One, an officer, a tall, handsome man, gallant beard. The other, obviously a soldier or officer's servant, a squat, thin, sunburned man with hollow cheeks and a dull expression. After advancing a few steps, the officer, apparently making up his mind to good quarters, stopped, turned around and shouted in a loud peremptory voice to the soldier standing in the doorway to put up the horses. Having done this, he crooked his elbow high in the air, stroked his moustaches, and put his hand to his head. Bonjour, la compagnie, he said gaily, smiling and looking about him. No one made any reply. Garassin appeared. Master, not here. No, understand me, you, he said, trying to make his words more comprehensible by saying them in reverse order. Pierre was about to retreat to conceal himself, but at that very second, caught sight of the drunken Makar Alexeyevich peeping out of the open kitchen door with a pistol in his hand. He eyed the Frenchman and, lifting the pistol, took aim. "Run them down!" yelled the drunkard, pressing the trigger. The French officer turned round at the scream, and at the same time Pierre dashed at Makar Alexeyevich. Just as Pierre snatched the pistol and jerked it up, the drunkard succeeded at last in pressing the trigger, and a deafening shot rang out, wrapping everyone in a cloud of smoke. The Frenchman turned pale and ran back to the door. Forgetting his intention of concealing his knowledge of French, Pierre pulled away the pistol and, throwing it on the ground, ran to the officer and addressed him in French. "You're not wounded," he said. "You have saved my life. You are French," said the officer. For a Frenchman, the deduction followed naturally. An heroic action would only be performed by a Frenchman. And to save the life of him, Monsieur Bouvard, captain of the 13th Light Brigade, was undoubtedly...
Okay, looks like we're out of the canyon. That was really cool. Alright, I'm leaving Nevada and entering California, I hope. I don't see any signs. Didn't we go through this on the way in? Anyway, coming across Nevada is always an adventure. Really isn't as hot out as I thought. It might be 100 degrees, but it's so desolate that the somewhat upbeat feeling I had just crossing from Arizona into Nevada just dissipated. It started getting very scary. Just kind of a combination of heat, knowing how long it is, crossing the hottest part of the trip in the hottest part of the day. So I stopped right on the border there at mile 1, which is Prim. I'm leaving this going because there's a really sizable dust storm up ahead, like a dust devil. Anyway, thought I'd save some on gas, even though I was only about halfway down. Nope. Well, $3.25. That's still 20 cents a gallon cheaper than it was in Baker on the way in, but anyway. So it's now 3:05, so this is peak heat of the day, so it's going to be getting cooler from here on. Still have, according to the GPS, 490 miles to go with an ETA of 11 p.m. Okay, here I am approaching that agricultural inspection station, the one that's 100 miles inside the California border. And for the past 15 minutes or more, been crawling along just like this. My home ETA has gone from 11 o'clock even to now 11:12. So hopefully we're not too far from the station or whatever it is that's causing this to back up. So this really sucks. I mean, other states seem to do just fine, only inspecting trucks and people with trailers hauling vegetables. I guess we're each being inspected. Alright, so we got 2 miles of freeway speed, and now we're stopped again. And as near as I can tell, this is the checkpoint. Okay, well, I guess that'll teach me to forget to set this back to standard mode instead of high def. The memory stick ran out of room and I missed some significant events, like the halfway point. What I'm doing right now is merging onto I-5 down near, well, if I...
193 miles on I-5.
If I were coming back, I would have said I was just past coming down the Grapevine. But what I did is coming down the Tehachapi grade to Bakersfield, I just took the highway across. It's only about 20 miles. But it cuts 20 minutes off of the final arrival time, which is back to 11:30. It was 11:30 before I made the change. If I had gone up 99, it was about 11:30, and then by taking the highway here, it is a shorter drive once you get on it. And I got it was back up to like 11:15. Great. But I just spent the most expensive gas of the trip. Spent 15 minutes filling up, Getting the feeling back in my right leg. In Bakersfield, the gas was $3.09 at a mobile station. And I passed that up to spend $3.79. That's 70 cents a gallon more. And it's more than $1 a gallon more than the average in Colorado I paid. Oh well. Welcome to the Golden State.